So I'm Stephen Koller from the Gates Foundation. I'm joined by Nick Vucic from Hewlett. Fix going to share a story. Really just very honored to be able to come down today and to acknowledge your contribution and what it means to both our institutions, but also to us respectively as individuals. My first interaction with Murugan was almost a year ago when I came down to CK12 and met the good cop in the relationship. We had a fascinating conversation. Danny, that would make you the bad cop, yes. Given it, you want me to say it, I'll say it. We had a fabulous conversation. We were joined by Danny Hillis and talking about the potential for every child in the United States to have an individual learning map that would guide them through a field of study. And we sketched out on the whiteboard. It was a very exciting meeting, almost the entire ecosystem and the various components you'd require to drive those kind of solutions. And Murugan had clearly thought about all of them. And not only that, how they would have to communicate with each other. As Shell said, your ability to see the whole picture was astonishing. And for me, truly humbling, the humility with which you presented your ideas. I was excited, so excited coming out of that initial conversation. And we look at Flexbooks 2, and we think ahead to Flexbooks 10, and everything that will come in between. And we're so excited to be able to build on what you have given us, Murugan, through your work. We're deeply grateful for it. We're very excited for what the future holds. And thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. So I'm Vic Vucic from the Hewlett Foundation. Thought I'd just talk a little bit about context that really highlights how critical and amazing Murugan's contributions have been to the open education field at large. I came to the foundation about 5 years ago. Before that, I was in Silicon Valley in kind of technology startups, product development, and things like that. This was my first job in nonprofit, actually. And I came in and was in this new burgeoning field of open education. That was exciting, had a lot of brilliant and amazing people doing great things. But I noticed a few months in that there's a pretty big gap that was going to be very difficult to overcome. And it is when you work in Silicon Valley and you see this unique kind of engineer that's very rare and very elite. And you often get engineers that are good at, say, front end or certain user experience and interface components. You have some that are very good at building large-scale back-end systems and ones with different pieces of the puzzle. But it's very, very rare that you get one that can actually see the entire picture and operate at an amazingly detailed and powerful level throughout, from the initial human behavior all the way into how you implement that, and then do it in a way that can grow and scale to something that even impacts an entire market. And those are really the true elite engineers, and they're very, very rare. And it was clear to me in OER, we had a lot of great engineers, but they were often very either academic or institutional or various different areas. And I noticed also another interesting dynamic in open source that came out, and it was that a lot of OER work came out of higher ed. And open source, it ends up, a reason for that is that in higher ed you have these institutions with large endowments, well-staffed IT departments. You even have this whole shadow workforce of graduate students that are actually fairly sophisticated in doing things. But when you go to K-12 and you look at that, there's none of that. You're lucky if your IT department is anything more than a converted teacher. And so looking at how to impact K-12 at scale with technology and open was a really daunting problem. And so it was about 6 months or a year in that we went to visit Niru and Murugan. And Murugan got up and started really demonstrating what he was building. And he was talking and laying out exactly how he was thinking about this, showing these amazing things, and then also even the very deep back end of scale. And I think if you had a video camera on me, you'd suddenly see a big smile start coming on my face. And I just was like, wow, this is exactly what we need. This is exactly the unique talent and brilliance and sophistication that we need to really impact K-12 at a large scale. And so it was amazing that such a brilliant talent dedicated himself to this incredible challenge. And I think the results are incredible. At the end of the day, millions of kids around the world are learning because of what you've done. And we're incredibly grateful for that. Thank you for being a wonderful colleague, leader. I often call it kind of the North Star when we talk about engineering and development in open education. Murugan Pell is truly one of the best. So thank you. It's a privilege. So with that, we'd like to present him with an award from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Creative Commons, the Hewlett Foundation, and CK12. Thank you, Morgan.